well, I guess hello Utah weather. It's been fine for like the last 3 days, and then it just dumped a bunch of snow on us. Yo guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be doing just a quick little video getting my engine bay painted, and mostly just the process of that. So in preparation for this new engine, I wanted to get things cleaned up. This is basically the final product. Okay, that phone died like 6 times in a row, so we're going to try something else. I guess I should say camera, but anyway, starting over. This is basically the final product. Not too bad all around. The only thing is over here, obviously, I'm going to have to touch this back up. It was already starting to discolor, so I was planning on fixing that anyways. But I just want to hit this all black again, so that's why I didn't remove it. So then I might clean these lines up as well as some of this later on, but at least for now, I've got pretty much everything nice and painted. I need to wash it again. It's gotten a little dirty, but anyway, we're going to go basically through the process of doing this. It's not so much a how-to, more so just covering everything. I'm going to put a little brief clip in on how I did it, just so you can kind of get the general gist, but this is a huge project with a lot to cover, so I didn't really go step-by-step basis, or really even a very good just showcase of everything, because it was honestly was a lot of hours of taking things apart, putting them back together, and trying again over and over and over again. A lot of these little things just didn't line out the way I thought they would. I also still have this great big bag of bolts of things that need to go places that I don't know where they belong. Part of those are clips that I need to put into the cowling still. Most of those are not, and I don't know where they could go because I have everything pretty much put back together, and so I'm just straight up missing those pieces. But anyway, let's get into that footage. Okay, so here I am getting into the preparation of the valve cover. You can see me using this drill brush attachment, which really wasn't working even though this has already been paint stripped, so I just went ahead and tried to use some more paint stripper and then brushing that around. Unfortunately, I found that didn't really work as it kept drying out due to maybe the heater in the shop. Okay, here's my solution to this problem. I gooped that on there like tons, like this thing is cooked in it, and I just stuck it in this bag that someone left in my trash, mostly sealed. There are some holes just in the bag, and I like that because this stuff is terrible. It's awful. And I don't want it to like build up pressure, so luckily there's a couple like reliefs, but it's not enough to like, I don't know. I just hope this works, because if not, I'm going to have to get a little bit more creative. But we'll see. I'll just leave this overnight. Hopefully that isn't a problem, and I'll get up tomorrow and come to work, and we'll see what kind of condition it's in, and hopefully from there I can go ahead and finish painting. Now we're going to get more into the actual process of the painting I did. Pretty much everything is going to follow the same process, so just keep that in mind as you watch the rest of the video. But we're going to start this off on my valve cover. You'll see first I just taped off some little areas here and there, and then I applied some primer, and I just went over this a couple times with a couple different coats to make sure it was nice and thick. And then you can see I'm applying the first level of paint, just trying to get it kind of everywhere, but this is obviously just the first coat, so I'm going to be hitting this again later. I don't really show that, but I do give it multiple coats. And then here you can actually see the final product after it's been cleared as well. Okay, it's basically day 2 of this project. I haven't done a whole lot of recording because it is a lot of really strenuous, tedious work getting things taken apart and finding out where they go. And I have to be focused, because if I forget, well, then I forget where things go. But I've just been trying to get things taped off pretty much. It's going to be kind of an adventure getting behind here. I'm thinking about pulling my master cylinder anyways. But yeah, so I'm just going to tape off all the labels and a couple other things, and then hand scrub this. Get it nice and cleaned up. So yeah, I'm pretty much where I need to be. I'm actually a little ahead of schedule. It's fucking nasty, dude. You gotta show it. So here's kind of the results of the wash. Mostly clean. I mean, there's a lot that's gonna get missed, obviously, but for the most part, everything that you're gonna see, everything I can get to easily has come off pretty much throughout the whole car. I mean, there's still a little bit places like over here, but I'm not. I might scrub that down a little bit more. For the most part, doing pretty good. Okay, so we found a verdict as to why we believe this color, or this corner, is a different color, as well as rusted. It does look like this may have been in a minor accident in this side, because if you can look here, it's kind of crunched in. It's a little hard to see. But there's a little bit through here that's crunched in. This isn't exactly straight. These corner markings are starting to rust, as well as this is a totally different primer color. You can also see some of the crunching down through this area, where over here it isn't like, this is just completely smooth almost. Same with this side, nothing really out of the ordinary there. So we think that it was just in a minor like hit here, but they've done a pretty good job at pulling it straight. So I'm not really worried about it, but I am just gonna make sure this gets covered pretty good. That's kind of why all this is happening, is just from it being hit or something in this corner. So overall, it's not too bad. I mean, the car still aligns okay. I didn't even notice when I bought it. Like, the body gaps and everything seemed to be normal, but we just noticed that. So other than that, I did get it basically as clean as I'm gonna get it. There are a few things I need to do, like retape off the lettering in a couple places, as well as want to get these bolts and stuff all taped off again. They just blew off. I'm thinking at this point in time, I'm just gonna paint over the master cylinder, or sorry, the brake booster, and then take it out of the car, spray it black, and then put it back in at some point. As well as a couple different pieces of tape blew off. I did think I got water inside of my evaporator core, so I'll have to fix that. But other than that, this is pretty much the end of the cleaning process. I don't plan on doing any more. I left a big mess over here of just dirty water. But yeah, that's about where I'm at. So I went to go paint the car, and I left the paint at home, and I had to turn around and come back and get it. But I got it now. So we're gonna go paint the engine bay today. Okay, so here I've applied some primer to the rust areas, as well as areas that were kind of showing through yellow. And if you can see, there's kind of some sections that are starting to fisheye a little bit. Here's my first pretty heavy coat of paint. Again, we're starting to get some fisheyeing in some sections, but I did kind of learn how to take care of that in some other sections, and I made sure to get into some of the harder to reach places as well. Here is just after a second coat of paint. And here we have basically the final result. This is after it's been pretty heavily painted, as well as I started putting clear around. As you can see, pretty much everything is looking pretty good. Some things I have to touch up still, like I mentioned, with that brake booster, but overall things have turned out pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I feel like this engine bay is definitely looking very nice. Now begins the reassembly process. The same as disassembly, this took a long time and it was very tedious, so most of this I didn't record. Here is just a short clip of me putting on some of the brake lines as well as getting some of the wiring unwrapped. This really did take quite a while, and so I didn't record almost any of it because this was almost all just me taking this apart myself and putting it back together. Here we kind of have a section where I've already put most of the lines and wiring where they need to go, so you can kind of see how this is going to lay out on the car itself. And now we have a section with both the fenders and some of the lights being put back on, basically ready for the grille and everything to be finalized. Alright, so that's basically everything for painting the engine bay. Again, not a very big, long video, not very super detailed. If you're looking for something more of a how-to style or more, check something else out because this video is not it. Like I said, it just took a lot of time and a lot of taking things apart, putting them back together, and even something like a time-lapse was just going to take too long for the first time in painting this engine bay. I feel like it's turned out really good for what it is, but it definitely needs some more work. If I was going to do this professionally, and you can't really see, but I don't know, like the paint's already starting to crack a little bit just from the cold. It's kind of hard to tell, but there are some spots where I started getting some fish-eyeing. I fixed them up pretty good. I mean, you can't even tell from this far of a distance in person for the fish-eyeing, the cracking a little bit, but it's kind of hard to see. And there's obviously some spots I could have gotten a little better up in here, for example, the cowling, things like that. But for a basically do-it-yourselfer at-home equivalent of work, I mean, I'm in a shop, but I mean, it's not like I take this up. But it's pretty much all just left there, so anyway, it's about as good of a job as it's going to get. This is just, like I said, in preparation for the engine that I'm going to drop in, so it'll help kind of keep the engine bay clean. I mean, when I started, this whole area was yellow. They had a lot of battery corrosion and everything there, so it's definitely come a ways, but not perfect. But that's okay, you know, I really don't feel like it has to be perfect for me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, comment, rate, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.